Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're looking at something totally ambitious today, an unprecedented fusion of arts and audio. It's called the Master of Vision Project. You know, we've spent our whole lives looking at art, right? Analyzing delicate brushstrokes, admiring those complex color palettes. But today, we're going to engage with classical art in a completely different, highly immersive way. I mean, ask yourself, what does Da Vinci's Mona Lisa or Rembrandt's Night Watch actually sound like? Just imagine stepping beyond those heavy, gilded frames of these centuries-old canvases and walking straight into a sensory, sonic landscape. Picture yourself standing right there in the Louvre or the Rijksmuseum, closing your eyes and literally letting the painting wash over your ears. If you could just press play on a 15th century masterpiece, what would the melody be? Would it be a slow, acoustic ballad matching the quiet tension of the subject? Or maybe a heavy rock anthem reflecting all those dark, chaotic shadows? Well, this isn't just some hypothetical thought experiment anymore. It's the exact foundation of the remarkable collection we are exploring today.
Moving into part 1, the Artistic Gallery, Masterpieces in Sound.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the project essentially acts as a master translator. It takes the world's most famous visual masterpieces and converts them into incredibly diverse, modern auditory experiences. We literally have 15th and 16th century painters colliding head-on with contemporary beats. We're seeing Sandro Botticelli's classical flora-filled spring reimagined as pulsing electro-dance music. We've got Van Gogh's swirling, chaotic starry night rendered as a raw, driving rock track. Hieronymus Bosch's surreal and crowded piece, The Garden, becomes smooth R&B, and Albrecht Dürer's intensely thoughtful melancholia is expressed through the complex, winding rhythms of jazz. It's a total genre-bending diversity that breathes entirely new, dynamic life into these historic works.
And the stark contrasts just keep coming. We've got Jean Van Eyck's incredibly stoic, formal portrait getting the high-energy EDM treatment, while Michelangelo's grand, celestial creation of Adam is transformed into a deeply emotional pop ballad. The juxtaposition is just fascinating. Take Vermeer's delicate Girl with a Pearl Earring, for example, a painting famously known for its quiet, static gaze. Here, it becomes an upbeat, vibrant pop track, giving that silent look a contemporary pulse. And then Claude Monet's impressionistic Venice, with its soft, blurring light on the water, it turns into a smooth jazz melody that perfectly mirrors that gentle fluidity. It's just amazing to sit back and listen to how visual brushstrokes can become deep, thumping bass lines, and how vibrant, classical hues turn into smooth, rhythmic melodies. All right, let's shift gears to section 2, the solo visionary, behind the canvas. Okay, let's actually pause our rapid-fire genre exploration for just a second. 1,105. That is the number of distinct, full-length musical tracks in this collection. We're talking about hundreds of hours of high-quality music spanning rock, jazz, pop, R&B, and dance, all meticulously categorized by artist and painting. But here is the truly staggering reveal about how this whole thing was created. This wasn't made by some massive recording studio or a giant army of producers.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this entire expansive library of 1,105 tracks was curated and produced entirely by one solo creator. I mean, just think about the sheer scale and dedication that requires. One single visionary mapped out the absolute greatest hits of art history, deeply analyzed the emotional resonance and atmosphere of each individual piece, and expertly guided the technology to generate this massive, cohesive collection. It's a monumental undertaking. It brings a singular, unified perspective to hundreds of distinct historical voices. It really puts the master in master of vision. And the result isn't just a novelty. It captures the soul of these classical masterpieces with top-tier studio sound. That's the sophisticated aesthetic achievement of the AI used here. It's genuinely incredible how the technology maintains the profound quality, the historical weight, and the deep emotion of the original art, but it does it without sacrificing an ounce of professional studio fidelity. You aren't just hearing a synthetic computer beep, you're hearing sweeping, dynamic female vocals on a Van Gogh rock track or a soaring, beautifully mixed male duet on a Rembrandt ballad. The production value is simply premium. It creates a truly authentic and moving listening experience.
So, the crucial point is, this project beautifully bridges a massive historical gap. On one side, you have centuries-old human genius, the literal foundation of our visual culture, stretching from the meticulous brushstrokes of Da Vinci all the way to the dramatic lighting of El Greco. And then on the other side, you have the absolute frontier of modern audio generation and future technology. By deliberately pairing them together, this creator didn't overwrite the past. They used the sophisticated tools of tomorrow to give the past a brand new, electrifying voice. Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If technology can capture the soul of a 15th century painting today, what masterpiece will it help you create tomorrow? We are living in an era where the barriers between different mediums of art are completely dissolving, driven by the ambitious vision of individual creators and the staggering power of new tools. Keep that in mind the next time you look at a classic painting or hear a new piece of music. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive explainer, and I hope it leaves you as inspired and deeply curious as it left me.